Good morning, everyone. Our lesson for today is all about 21st century Philippine literary genres. But before we are going to tackle our topic, let us first study our objectives for this lesson. The first one, we're going to define what is literary genre. Second one, we're going to identify the different literary genres of 21st century and the earlier periods in Philippine history. And then, we are going to use diagram in comparing and contrasting the 21st century Philippine literary genres and those in the earlier times. Okay, 21st century Philippine literary genres. What is literary genre? Okay, it is been said as a category that authors use to describe the primary content and tone of their writing. It helps authors determine what type of plot, characters, and setting to create. It is also defined genre as or genre rather means also a categorization or a groupings and a classification on the forms of literature. So in this lesson, we are going to study what are those groupings or category or the classification of the forms of literature. So Philippine literary genre. It is a category of a literary composition. It is also a particular type or category of literature or art. It is also characterized by a particular style, form, or content. So the term genre here is used to denote literary sub-classifications or specific types of literature. Okay, so why it is called as 21st century? Okay, why 21st century? It is 21st century because it is the new literary works created during the last decade or from year 2001 onwards. So it is also created for senior high school students because mostly they were born in or just before the 21st century. Okay, it also deals with current themes and it reflects technological culture. It shows imaginative power of writing. It breaks also the traditional way of creating written works. So this is the new forms of writing, forms of literature. It also traces artistic representation of shared and familiar experiences. Okay, so what are the examples of literary genres? First one, we have the drama. Okay, drama is the genre of literature with stories composed of verse or prose which is meant to be dramatically or theatrically performed. So it is also it uses high emotions and conflicts in expressing through dialogue and movements or actions. So that is the drama. Okay, the second one, we have creative nonfiction. So, creative nonfiction is a literary or narrative nonfiction. So, it is the genre of writing that uses literary styles and techniques to create factually accurate narratives. So, these are the narrative, the written forms of narrative, which is only based on facts or not based on the imagination of the author or the writer. Okay, another example for this literary genre is the blog. Blog is a web blog containing short articles called posts that can be changed regularly. Okay, another one, we have the poetry. Poetry is the art of poetry or the art of poetry is rhythmical in composition, written or spoken. So, under this poetry, we have the spoken word poetry and the hugot lines or also known as the pick-up lines. Okay, for the spoken word poetry, it is the kind or a poem that has made its way into the hearts of Filipinos, especially the millennials. So it is a type of poem read or performed in an artistic and emotive manner. So that is the spoken word poetry. Okay, another example for the poetry is the hugot lines, or also known as the pick-up lines. So some of these are witty but tinged with emotions. So it expresses feelings with a deep meaning. Okay, another example, or the last example for the literary genre is the fiction. Fiction is an imaginative literary work and is not based on facts. So these are the written narrative which is based on imagination of the writer or the author. So those were the examples of the literary genres. Okay, thank you very much. That ends our lesson for today. God bless everyone.